All right, being a king. And the road to being a king, how does that look like?
Well, the very first thing we can ask ourselves is, what is it not?
Yeah, what is this not?
That's the first question we have to ask ourselves. In fact, that is like the easiest way to get to the understanding of God. I forget the term that they use in Greek, but it's approaching something by looking at what it's not. And a lot of times that gets us to much closer to what it is. The king quality is very divine. And that's why it's so hard to define. That's why it's so hard to define what we are as men, because we're sons of God. We're kings. So we've been sort of, because it's, as I'm saying, sort of challenging, it's easy to manipulate. So let's go back to what it's not. That way we won't be manipulated, because we're always manipulated by the things that it's not. It's not doing, right? We already established that. That's the warrior. But how many of us are doing things in order to win love? How many of us are actively taking action in all kinds of frantic ways in order to make the money that we think we deserve? How often are we just doing out of pure fear? Like, I just can't sit still. I got to go do something. And so we get ourselves into trouble. Doing can be reverted. So it's not the king quality. It's the shadow magician. It's the shadow warrior. The shadow warrior, doing, overdoing, overworking, caught up in activity. That's not how we get to the king. You don't get to the king through activity and through doing anything. It's not doing. If we look at thinking, right, the magician quality, can you think yourself to being a king? Well, it's a little bit closer than doing. You can think yourself there. You can reverse engineer. You can train yourself to think a bit more sovereign, but it's still out of a sense of control. You're doing the thinking. You're using the thinking as a manipulative way to reverse engineer what you think a king should be. Because if you're thinking, it's a figment of your imagination. And so it's all born of your mind. It's all born of your ego. It's not truly being. It isn't divine. It's a part of the ego. So you get a lot of guys who are very schizoid that learn like pickup artistry, and like they become Don Juans, but they're not actually Don Juans. They're just really good at following the rules. They reverse engineer. They're so clever. They're magicians in their ability to get the things that they want, but yet they're still not being, because it's an activity. And then feeling, we know, will only get you so far, because feeling can be perverted easily. Most of our feelings are perverted based on trauma. If you spent your life trusting your feelings on everything that crossed your path, you'll be lost. You'll be like a ping pong ball going back and forth and all messed up. Imagine you lived your life purely on feeling. That would be a mess. And of course, you'd lean a lot more feminine. And we don't need any more women. They outnumber us already. So why not lean into your masculine virtue? Which, when we come back to the top and you're talking about the king, and now you ask me, how do you make that happen in your life? Once we drop doing, drop thinking, and drop attachment to our feelings, what's left? Pure being. And that might confuse you. You might say, okay, Elliott, then what do I do as a pure being? How do I act as a pure being? What do I think and how should I feel as a pure being? That's all born out of fear. But if we allow ourselves to have faith and believe in God's grace and have mercy on ourselves by not thinking that we have to do everything with our wills, then everything that proceeds from us, every action that we take, every decision that we make, will come from pure stillness. And as the Buddhists describe it, it could only be right action. You can only take right action out of pure stillness, pure grace, pure faith. That is God. So to be a king, we got to lean on the king. We get our sovereignty from above. So it's got to be God's will. That's how we become a king. And this is what the ancients understood. They understood this, that a good king is one that God pours his graces out into the kingdom through. And if he fails, off with his head. It isn't that a king like King David in the Bible, what made him such a powerful king wasn't because he was talented, but he was the youngest. It wasn't about him, let me put it this way, because he was a fallen man and he sinned. It was because he always turned his face to God in everything that he did. The entire book of the Psalms are his prayers saying to God, I trust you. I trust you, God. Like we're about to get run over. I trust you. Things aren't going well. I trust you. Things are going amazing, but I'm not going to forget you. God, I screwed up, but I believe in you. Restore me to your good graces. I believe you will. God, you'll never turn me down. He's speaking to his Lord. He's having conversations with his king. And thus, he pours majesty into his kingdom. He's a conduit for God. How many times can we get out of the way and allow ourselves to be conduits of God into our families, into our businesses? I get in the way all the time of my business. I'm my worst enemy when it comes to business. Because there's too many things that I know and too many things that I can do. Things are best. I am king when I let go and I allow God's grace to carry me through trust and prayer. I know you got me, Lord. I believe you in you. I trust in you. I've seen your blessings in my life. I let go. Let your will be done. Let your love pour through me. And that's how we